watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Hello and welcome to Medical Talk. I'm your host, Betty LaMarr. We're having a conversation today about diabetes prevention and self-management. Joining me are Lynn Ward and Kent Stoneking with AM Diabetes Centers of America. Well, hello. How is everybody? And thanks for joining Medical Talk.
Thank you, Betty.
Thank you.
Okay, now, everybody knows about AM Diabetes and Endocrinology Center. And we are approaching Diabetes Awareness Month. I like to say, anytime I can get you all here to talk about diabetes, it is Diabetes Awareness Month because it never goes away, right?
That's right.
Okay, now let's start this off. I want the both of you to, if you will, introduce yourself, tell our viewers who you are, what you do, and where you do it.
Thank you for having us, Betty.
Thank you.
I'm Lynn Ward, a whole health educator, and with AM Diabetes Centers of America, I serve as the Director of Wellbeing and Lifestyle Management.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm Kent Stoneking. I'm a pharmacist and a certified diabetes educator. I also are one. I've had type 1 diabetes for 44 and a half years. Thank the Lord, no complications. So this can be done. I'll just put that out there at the very outset. You can manage diabetes with no complications. It can be done. We're here to help. But at AM Diabetes Centers of America, I serve as the Director of Diabetes Education and Self-Management Services.
Okay, so let me ask you this. I always, normally I ask the doctors this question. So what sort of led you all into the world of endocrinology, in particular diabetes? Lynn?
Well, people want to feel better, and when we feel better, we can do more, and we're thriving, and we just believe that there are methods we can take and specific ways to personalize care and improve health.
Okay, what about you, Kent? I know you mentioned that you are living with diabetes yourself.
I am.
Okay, tell us a little bit about your journey as well.
Okay, I was diagnosed at age 11. At age 16, I enrolled in a clinical trial that ended up being a landmark trial for type 1 diabetes, demonstrating two things. Number one, type 1 blood glucose could be brought down in the range of people that don't have diabetes safely. Number two, it has huge impact. We're talking about reductions in diabetic eye disease that leads to ultimately to blindness, reductions of 76%, reductions of diabetic kidney disease of 56%, diabetic nerve disease of 60%, just by managing blood glucose and making reasonable and safe reductions and then maintaining that. So that's where I learned to take care of myself, and coming out of that trial, as a pharmacist, I thought, we got to tell the world. And so
yes.
I'm out there working at the time in a community pharmacy that had more patients with diabetes than any other single pharmacy outlet in the entire state of Tennessee. Lots of opportunities. And what I learned very quickly, Betty, was that no one else knew what I knew, because I'd been to the mountain, but I'd been to this clinical trial,
okay.
and the word was just getting out. So that was 1993. And fast forward now, having a chance to do a number of things in my career that were diabetes related. Encountering Dr. Lateef last December and joining his team in January and coming on. Diabetes is front and center every single day. And it's always been a passion of mine, but to join Dr. Lateef and his excellent team of passionate individuals, we're all trying to do what we can with our different professional backgrounds and interests to help people with diabetes.
Okay, so Lynn, I'm gonna, you all are so absolutely good at, I call it like, I like to be the student and you're my professors here, but I want to know exactly what your role is, what you do on every day as far as diabetes. And I love this word. I love to hear the term diabetes prevention,
Yes.
because that is really pretty. So I mean perfect. So how can you prevent diabetes? What is the process? What does that look like?
Right. If we can prevent it,
Yes.
that's the key.
Okay.
And the risk factors are there. It is a chronic disease that we can attack. We can put the effort in. And so every day I provide services to grow our diabetes prevention program. So we offer the CDC National Diabetes Prevention Program to our community, to our patients, and we take physician referrals, and we just want to get the word out to make a change in Shelby County, Mid-South, across America, because 96 million Americans have prediabetes, and most don't even know they have it, which is a very large indicator of the issue. The symptoms aren't obvious, so therefore you need testing done. But also, if you have an elevated BMI, that's an indication that you could have some issues right there with metabolic concerns.
I'm glad you said that, the BMI, because that was like you was reading my mind at the moment. We know that type 1 has all to do with the pancreas. So we can't right now prevent that unless we get a cure, right? But is type 2, other than being hereditary, is that mostly people that when they tip that scale and get that higher BMI?
Well, it could be lack of movement and physical activity.
Really?
We really need to be moving every day. And so part of our program is to not only say that we need to be doing it, but we have the programming in place to help someone get moving, more active, and increase their physical activity every week, up to 100 minutes a week or more. And then we want to focus on the muscles.
Okay.
And really fine-tune the areas of the body that need the work, so we can target not only heart rate, but the muscles as well. And then we're looking at nutrition, we're looking at physical activity, we look at stress management. So diabetes prevention isn't
stress,
exactly, it isn't just one answer.
Okay.
And that's what AM Diabetes Centers of America is about, like Kent mentioned, bringing in all of our different components of care, not only for diabetes, but for the prevention piece as well.
Okay, so I just learned something. I knew about the BMI, and a lot of people say when they get to a certain BMI, they jumped in the diabetes category. But I didn't know that even if you don't have a high BMI and you're just sitting around doing nothing, you could still, what do you say, get in that category.
Type 2,
Yeah.
right.
Just being inactive, basically. But this is what we're going to do, because I want you to pick that up.
Okay.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to go more into that, because a lot of people don't know that. They don't know that how important physical activity is to diabetes prevention. We'll be right back with more medical talk.
Cut to one and cue talent.
The GHS Fine Arts Department is composed of 6 different disciplines, including instrumental music, which is both band and the strings or orchestra.
My belief is that band is the life of the school. If the band's not fun, the school's not fun.
There's choral music with a variety of different levels for our students, from women's choir, an a cappella group.
So choir is an excellent opportunity for you to engage in the music making process and to create relationships and bonds with your fellow classmates.
We have our theater program, which includes acting and tech theater.
It'll teach you how to be a better communicator, it'll teach you how to work with people better, and it'll teach you how to get outside your comfort zone.
We have GHS-TV and the intro classes that go into GHS-TV.
You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome to GHS Insider, the show that's all about the G.
So GHS-TV tries to model a real working station.
And we have a visual arts program that goes up into AP courses and also includes IB level.
I think the arts are really important because they provide students with that safe space where they can express themselves, they can be who they really want to be.
The specificity of what is taught and required to be learned here in this department is so particular that they're going away with abilities and skills that other schools aren't teaching.
For more information about the Kappa program, visit ghskappa.com or call 755-7775. You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Thanks for tuning in. We're talking about diabetes prevention and self-management. Okay, now, Lynn, Kent, we're back. I just learned something that I didn't know. So that takes me into risk factors. What are some of the risk factors? And as always, I would like to sit back and learn something from the two of you.
All right. Well, I'll jump in at this point, Betty.
Okay.
There are numerous risk factors for type 2 diabetes. Family history, far and away, is number one. If you put that on one side of the scale, put all the others on the other side, family history outweighs all the others put together. So anyone with a family history of diabetes needs to be looking for development of diabetes. They need to be putting those preventive measures in place early in life, managing their weight, staying physically active. You know, each of us, I will go out on a limb and say we've all celebrated our 45th birthday. That in and of itself is a risk factor.
Aging.
Yeah.
Can't do anything about that.
And type 2
Luckily.
diabetes is considerably more prevalent in the African American population, the Hispanic population, the Asian American population, definitely the Native American population. So, you know, just taking all these things into account, and the American Diabetes Association has put a very handy and easy to do assessment. It's called the risk test. They can go online to the ADA, it's diabetes.org, and take the risk assessment and get a score. And if you're on that scale, you know, you need to be looking at diabetes prevention. If you're overweight, you need to be looking at diabetes prevention. And so we will help anybody that wants to prevent diabetes, because it's definitely worth it. The diabetes we can prevent is the diabetes that we don't have to treat, and people don't have to be subject to the complications of diabetes.
And finding groups and organizations is key, because people can do this with their friends, with their family, and come together as a community, which is the environment that we create. Connection and having the help they need. Jumping back to the inactivity piece, when you think about the way our cities are designed, they're not designed for walkability, really. So we have to be intentional with our efforts. Parking a little further away. You've heard the standard ideas of how to get in a few more steps, but it matters.
Take the stairs, not the elevator.
Yes. Yes. So that's another factor, an easy step that we can add into our lives. But the program itself is a year-long program that is lending itself to true lifestyle modifications that are sustainable, because you learn the skills, you're meeting, you have the accountability, the friendships are formed, and then you are you might already know some of the things, right? But some people want the accountability, the refreshers, and the sharing of ideas. So it's really a great community.
Okay, so what is the overall, I guess you would say, goal? I know we want to prevent diabetes, because if we can prevent it, obviously, like you said, you don't have to treat it, which means we don't have to worry about the complications. But of America, so is this is the ultimate goal to expand outside of the borders of Memphis and the Mid-South, and try to expand this diabetes prevention throughout America at some point?
We want to make a change.
We do.
Okay.
And we're starting right here, Betty, because if we brought up the American Diabetes Association website right now, they've got what they call the heat map of diabetes across the entire U.S. The Memphis Mid-South area is at the epicenter of that heat map. So there's as much diabetes and more, indeed, right here in our region than anywhere else in the country. So we already live here, we have an established practice here. So we're going to start here. We're going to get our arms around the diabetes needs of this community. Dr. Lateef has the home base in Bartlett, but we've already expanded to Poplar. We're going to expand in the next few months to Collierville. We're going to go to South Haven. We'll look at Arlington, perhaps West Memphis, downtown, Whitehaven. I mean, there's all kinds of opportunities to plug in and do what we do. Now, we only have one medical director. We have one endocrinologist. He's amazing. But he's built a team around him that will take these services, which include prevention, education, stress reduction, nutrition, fitness, these services to these other communities. And if and when needed, we'll provide the endocrinology care, but let's do these other things that make such a difference in people's lives, both on the prevention and the diabetes treatment side.
And that's how we can make a real shift and make a change in this community and beyond.
Okay, so in other words, we're not just going to focus on giving you meds, we want to give you tools.
Exactly.
The tools that you need, so maybe you won't have to have the meds. Okay, you mentioned, I've heard fitness a few times here, and I noticed when I came over to the center for a meeting, there's this huge fitness center there. Let's talk about how does that play into what you all are doing? The fitness center, because I remember years ago it wasn't there.
Right.
Especially not that huge.
Yeah.
It's a vital component of what we do. And let's be honest, diabetes prevention is about weight loss, managing the weight, get off the excess weight so the insulin producing cells don't have to work as hard.
Okay.
We have to produce insulin for every pound of body weight that we carry. So weight loss is important, but we have some very powerful and popular weight loss drugs. As a pharmacist, you know, we're managing the demand for drugs like Ozempic and Mounjaro. And we see patients that'll come in who take those medications, they've gotten them from other prescribers, and they're losing a tremendous amount of weight. But you know what they're doing? They're losing lean muscle.
Yeah, I heard
which
about
isn't
that.
good. So our approach is entirely different. We'll provide medications if and when necessary, but we're also going to incorporate fitness so that lean muscle is maintained, in fact increased, while fat is lost, because that creates a person who is they have more metabolically active tissue, help them manage their glucose, but they're stronger, they're healthier, and even if they're on the scale, they're heavier than someone who's lost lean muscle, they're a healthier individual, they feel better.
Okay.
And they look better. So it's a whole different approach where fitness is a key component of the overall strategy for diabetes prevention and management.
Yeah.
So it is a different form of fitness in that it is a medical fitness center.
Indeed.
And
Okay.
personalized to the person, to just what they need.
So for a person that don't want to go to, they just may not be feel like they are the perfect participant, if you will, at some of the other fitness centers that maybe don't cater to people that may have illnesses and all of that. AM 360 Fitness, those people can feel comfortable going there because they're not going to feel like they're going to be on some real high pace.
I just have to come back to community. Yes,
Okay.
everyone feels at home, and it isn't. It's such a welcoming environment.
And they're
Okay.
never alone. They'll come in and they'll always be with a trainer who
Okay.
knows where they are and what goals they're trying to achieve this week. And say, okay, Betty, welcome to the center. Today we're going to do this, that, and this. I'll be here to supervise you. Go. Unlike the other fitness centers where they just check in and do their own thing and maybe someone checks on them.
All right. Now, this is so good. I'm just loving it. Now, when we come back after our final break here, we're going to talk about your outreach. What does people in the community, how do they know how to get involved? How can you get involved with them? How they can get involved with diabetes prevention? Because as you said, this is a red spot that we're living in. So it means every church, every organization that has people in the Mid-South need to know about prevention. Watch this space for more diabetes talk.
You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
I'm your moderator, Brandon Sewell, coming to you live from the campus of Germantown High School.
So GHS-TV tries to model a real working station.
I really thought it was cool when I first started studio and all the opportunities that it was able to provide for me.
That would be 36 out of 36. It's a rigorous class that demands a lot from students.
At times you are going to be thrown into the fire to where you're just going to have to figure it out yourself. Which is really great because then we gain more knowledge. Our teachers will give us how to start, but then we're left to make up the whole entire process.
It just seems to me it's not enough space in the beginning. If it's not, let's figure out what we can do.
They can be a producer, they can be a director, they can work graphics and learn audio, they can go out and shoot field reports.
Akila, back to you.
And it's a challenge to throw them into the environment and say, here's a camera, go out and record this interview and some B-roll. But those are the challenges that grow students to do bigger projects.
Welcome to Red Devil Newsbeat.
In GHS-TV, we have a variety of shows. We have Crosstalk.
Hello and welcome to a new season of GHS-TV's award-winning talk show, Crosstalk.
We have Insider, which is all about Germantown.
Welcome to GHS Insider, the show that's all about the G.
Cut to one and Q Talent.
Wake up, Germantown. It's Wednesday, April 5th. I'm calling you in.
Some things that I've learned from this class is that how to work as a team.
We learn how to communicate better with people.
Something I'll take with me from in the future is their slogan, check, double check, and check again.
There's so many different things you can do here. I would say take risks. Push yourself further than you think you can go, and we will help guide you there.
Go Red Devils!
For more information about the Kappa program, visit ghskappa.com or call 755-7775. You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome back to Medical Talk. I'm Betty LaMarr, and today's show is all about diabetes management. My guest today, Lynn Ward, Ken Stoneking. I would like to say the masters when it comes to diabetes prevention. Now, during this last segment, I want you all to really talk to our viewers and let them know if I'm interested, Betty LaMarr, in with my organization, wanting to know how can you help me and my organization. What do we do? What do we need to do? How do we get in touch with you all? So I just want you to take this last segment, you and Kent, and just tell us everything, the viewers, everything they need to know about your organization and how to get involved.
Great. Well, with so many options and programs in place, we feel like there's a place for all businesses, churches, and organizations to let us help. So we have a mindfulness-based stress reduction program. Who isn't stressed? You know, just life is stressful, and there are ways and methods that we can utilize to help reduce stress, which in the end is helping our overall health. And that's a program that we have in place and would love to bring it to any organization, as well as the diabetes prevention program. It is available, and businesses at the workplace benefits can offer this program, as well as churches, which is one of my favorite places to implement this program. Again, the community comes together working on mind, body, spirit.
Okay.
So finding us through social media is one avenue with the clinic, and reaching out and just having conversations with us where we can better understand their needs and form a program individualized for the organization.
Yes, that's one of the greatest things about our team is that we're very versatile, and we can tailor what we provide to the needs of a particular group or community. And we do have the 2 centers right now, and we're opening the 3rd soon, but we would like to get out into the community too and provide these services on site as needed. Diabetes education, we've not talked a whole lot about that yet, but that's another one that we offer at a regular weekly cadence at each of our centers, but also we can take outside. And if there's a group that would like to have a diabetes education, you know, of all the people that have diabetes in the U.S., 37 million now and counting, and many of those don't know it, but those that are diagnosed and are treated for diabetes, 5%, Betty, 5% throughout their lifespan will ever have education about diabetes.
And that can change everything.
Yes.
It really does.
Yeah.
You know, and we tell people, we're having a class today at our Bartlett Center. We started off, we said, look, if you're newly diagnosed, you're overwhelmed, I get it, I was there, you know, but none of this is rocket science. It's doing a few pretty simple things the right way on a consistent basis, but it begins by learning what those things are and how to do it. So offering that in a comprehensive fashion is what we do. We also have patients who have had diabetes for a period of time. We'll bring them back once a year and do a 2-hour, we call it a refresher course.
Yes.
And just because there's so much that's happening, new research, new findings, new medications, new guidelines, people owe it to themselves to learn how to manage their diabetes at the current level with the current knowledge.
That's right.
And we haven't talked much about nutrition, but that's really the first question people ask us.
It is.
What do we eat? Am I eating all the wrong things?
How do you count carbs?
So we have a lot of information to share, and it's fun work.
Yes.
It really is.
2 full-time licensed dietitians that can help guide people down that path.
I want to mention something really quickly now when you all jump back in. A few years ago in my marketing with AM Diabetes Center, one of the most fun things that I enjoy doing, and you all may want to think about this too, Mrs. Terry Moore, one of your CDEs, we would go to like the senior high rises and facilities, and it was amazing the things that we learned there from people sharing their medicines, and she would have to say, no, 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 no. So that's another great idea too for outreach, because there's so many of those people in those senior communities that they loved when Mrs. Moore would come out, and they had a special day for that, and they would all come down, and
That's great.
really good.
Yeah, community centers, parks and recreation groups.
So you all are basically, what you're saying, open to any organization that where there's people.
Yes.
And if you're in the Mid-South, you're in the red zone.
Right. We are plugged into all these different organizations, and it just keeps spreading. We're making a difference, and that's real exciting.
And what we're unable to do live, we can do virtually.
Oh, great. That's wonderful.
So we just want to get as much information out to as many people as we possibly can, using the live sessions certainly, but also social media, virtual meetings, all of that.
That's great. Well, I'm going to definitely talk to you all also, because you know, social media is what I do, and I can see I have a channel for AM Diabetes Center, but I can see a channel just for what you all are doing exclusively, where you can really take it worldwide fast, as well as the people that you're just going to, you know, interact with locally.
Indeed.
I think you need your own channel, and we'll work on that.
Well, thank you. That'll be exciting.
Yeah, because I love the camera, so I can video it for you. Okay, so let's wrap this up with, because no, we can do this forever and ever and ever and amen, because this is diabetes, right? So I want you all to wrap it up with, again, who you are, what you do and where you do it, and any information as far as website, how they can reach you right now if they need to get you out to their organization.
Great. Again, I'm Lynn Ward, Director of Wellbeing and Lifestyle Management, creating programs and making healthy habits easier and a good choice for anyone to help make sustainable changes that will improve health and be happy while you're doing it. Sometimes people don't want to make changes, but if we can make it fun, that would be great.
There you go. And I'm Kent Stoneking, pharmacist and diabetes educator with AM Diabetes Centers of America. And we currently have the two offices, 3025 Cape Bond Road in Bartlett, and then 6401 Poplar Avenue, Suite 600 in East Memphis.
amdcoa.com, amdiabetescentersofamerica.com.
Okay, well, I want to thank you all so much for being my very special guest today. And we're definitely going to follow up because they're telling us that we have to go. Thanks for watching Medical Talk with Betty LaMarr on GHS-TV. Remember, you can also watch Medical Talk on Mondays at 7:00 p.m. on Comcast Channel 17. For more information on our programming, please check us out on the web at ghstv.org, where we're streaming live 24 hours a day. You can also check us out on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Betty LaMarr. From all of us at GHS-TV, thank you for watching Medical Talk. I hope to see you again soon.